wanted to take a minute and do a little overview of the MP6X motion control system. This is the first motion control system of its kind where it is a 6-axis system completely built around macro photography and videography in mind. It's nice, it's small, it's compact. We have the ability to use a focus rail with it. There's an extra auxiliary port if you want to add an additional motor for other features. It's got one input and 2 camera outputs. And basically what we have is a little pedestal. And this thing can move up, down, left, right, in and out, and rotate. So what we have here on the controller is we have the menu selection. So this is how you're going to navigate the menu: up, down, left, right, back, and select. Up here is test if you want to trigger the camera for a test shot. And over here is the positioning system. Now at any point, if I want to position this, all I have to do is hit one of these buttons and you'll see that it moves over to the left or to the right. Counterclockwise, clockwise, up, down, and forwards and backwards. The menu on this is fairly simple. We have the 4 main shooting modes, which include macro stacking, photogrammetry to capture 3D assets of small subjects, hyperstack if you want to do those videos that look like where every frame is a series of stacked images, and tiling pano if you want to do like some gigapan style shooting and map out larger areas. You can select any of those. If you go further, you have the settings. We have a lot of different options in here. Rehoming will center the system. Settle delay. This is how long after it takes an image that you want it to wait in milliseconds. So 1000 would be 1 second. This is the shoot delay. This is how much time it gives for the trigger to shutter, or for the shutter to go. And the trigger duration is 200. That is the amount of time in milliseconds of a pulse it sends to the camera to trigger it. We've also got focus jog speed, focus check speed, focus stack speed, default images per stack, default angles per scan, MLU delay. This is mirror lockup. If we go down to that, 0 means off. If I have a DSLR and I want to use mirror lockup, I'd probably set that to maybe 1 full second, which would be there, and select. And now it will actually do a delay of 1,000 seconds, and then it will trigger the camera again. I'm sorry, not 1,000 seconds, but 1 second, 1,000 milliseconds. We go back. I'm going to go ahead and select that back down to 0 because I won't be using that. Calibrate rail. This is to put the information for your focus rail so it knows how far you're going to be moving between each step. Y stacking, that's in case you don't want to use a focus rail. You can actually have the system move the subject back and forth in order to do the stacking. Then we have the X, Y, Z, and rotate axis. Enable, disable in case you want to shut any of those off. X axis, Y, Z, and rotate for normal or reverse if you want to swap their orientations. Focus direction, I have it reversed on this rail. We focus microstepping, anywhere from 1 to 16 time. Then you have auxiliary motor direction, normal, and auxiliary motor speed. And then camera faces, this is a fun one. If you don't want to have this thing aimed directly at the camera because of the cables or it's in the way, you can always rotate it, and you just tell it what side the camera is going to go ahead and shoot it, and it will go ahead and make the adjustments to make sure that everything looks correct when you're jogging on your screen. This photogrammetry is for semi or fully automated. Right now, we only support semi until we get the ARM. Hyperstack, this is the frames per second. This is just going to give you a little indicator when you're setting it up to know how many frames per second you're using. So I'm going to go to 30. And then the type of rail that you have. Right now, I've got a couple of different ones programmed in there, like the Wii Macro or the Stack Shot, and it will know how far it's moving the rail. And that's pretty much it. We don't have a whole lot. So for the most part, this is really an excellent positioning system. You have very good control, and if you feel that you're moving too quick because you need to make a critical adjustment, especially since right now we're at 1-time magnification, if this was at a 5-time magnification or a 10-time magnification, this movement might be too slow. As you can see, I apparently changed the front setting. Let me go back and put that back real quick. Very easy to use. There, back. So now if I go here, that's moving correctly. Let's say this is too fast because we're at 10-time magnification. It's just whipping by the screen. You can increase the magnification by pressing mag up. Now if you go back and forth, it's heavily dampened. And this goes all the way up to 20, and at 20 it's actually fairly comfortable moving around at 50x magnification to frame your subject and get it set up to how you want it. It'll get to the point where it doesn't even look like it's moving. But that's really the system in a nutshell. It's very easy to use. All of the different shooting systems are made in a very it's a guided process. So if I want to do macro stacking, I hit on here, and then I go ahead and position the subject, however, on subject, and then I hit left button to go forward, and it says set the near focus. So all I do is I move my focus rail back to the near, and I confirm that location. I'll do the same thing for the far and confirm the location. I'll tell it how many images in a stack, and it's going to tell me how many microns it's moving per step. And then when it's ready, you just hit select and it will go ahead and do it. It is that simple. It only takes a few moments to set up. So all of the different shooting modes run similar to that. So they're very easy to use. And you can go back and forth between these locations and do even more. And we'll cover that in some other tutorials.